Top 4 low potassium foods to protect your kidneys and lower creatinine. Right now, in kitchens across America, millions of adults trying to protect their kidneys are unknowingly reaching for foods that could be working against them. Here is the shocking part. Many people who are told to watch their potassium assume that means avoiding the obvious culprits: bananas, potatoes, oranges. But they have no idea that foods marketed as healthy, like certain smoothies, whole grain breads, and even some protein shakes, can quietly deliver a potassium load far higher than expected. And when potassium builds up in the bloodstream faster than weakened kidneys can filter it out, the consequences are not small. Elevated potassium can affect heart rhythm in dangerous ways, contribute to muscle weakness and cramping, and place additional daily stress on kidneys that may already be struggling to keep up. At the same time, many adults are watching their creatinine numbers climb on every lab report, a warning sign that filtration efficiency is slipping, often without a single obvious symptom to explain why. Fatigue that will not go away, ankles that swell by evening, a nagging fear in the back of your mind about where this is all heading, whether dialysis is somewhere down the road, whether your independence and quality of life will slowly shrink year after year. These fears are real, valid, and deeply human, and they deserve to be taken seriously, not brushed aside or minimized by anyone. But here is the hopeful truth that most people never hear. Building a genuinely kidney-friendly eating pattern does not mean eating bland, boring, restrictive meals for the rest of your life. It means learning which foods quietly support your kidneys without the potassium spike you might expect. Today, we are counting down 4 foods that fit beautifully into a low-potassium lifestyle. Foods that are practical, available at any American grocery store, and more surprising than you might think. Number 4 alone might completely change what ends up in your cart this week, so stay with us. There is something else worth understanding before we begin. Something that explains why potassium mismanagement sneaks up on so many people in the first place. Healthy kidneys are remarkably good at filtering excess potassium and flushing it out through urine, keeping blood levels stable no matter what you eat. But as kidney function gradually declines, that filtering capacity weakens, and potassium that would once have been effortlessly cleared can start to linger in the bloodstream instead. The tricky part is that potassium itself is not the enemy. Your body actually needs it for healthy muscle contraction, including the steady rhythm of your heartbeat, and for proper nerve signaling throughout your body. The real issue only arises when kidney filtration slows down enough that potassium accumulates faster than it can be removed, throwing this normally beneficial mineral out of balance. This is exactly why understanding food sources matters so much, not because potassium is dangerous in general, but because the right foods, in the right portions, allow adults with kidney concerns to enjoy real, satisfying meals while keeping this balance in check. Coming in at number 4 is garlic, a food so common most people never stop to think about its nutritional value, yet it deserves a serious second look. A single clove of garlic contains roughly 12 milligrams of potassium, an almost negligible amount compared to potassium-dense foods like potatoes, which can carry over 600 milligrams in a single medium serving. This makes garlic an extremely safe, flavor-packed way to season meals without pushing potassium intake higher, something especially valuable for adults trying to reduce reliance on salty seasoning blends that place additional strain on the kidneys through excess sodium. Garlic contains a unique sulfur compound called allicin, released when garlic is crushed or chopped, which research has linked to healthy blood pressure regulation and improved circulation, both of which matter enormously for kidney health, since consistently high blood pressure is one of the leading contributors to declining kidney function over time. Garlic also delivers manganese, vitamin B6, and vitamin C, along with antioxidant compounds that help reduce oxidative stress, the slow cellular damage that accumulates in kidney tissue across decades of everyday wear. A common dietary mistake among adults managing kidney concerns is over-relying on packaged seasoning mixes and bouillon cubes, which are often loaded with sodium and potassium-based additives, when a simple swap to fresh or roasted garlic can dramatically cut both without sacrificing flavor. Garlic may benefit most those managing early blood pressure concerns, anyone trying to reduce sodium intake without losing taste satisfaction, and adults looking for a low-potassium way to support cardiovascular and metabolic health simultaneously. Researchers at a respected American university studied allicin's cardiovascular effects in adults with mild hypertension, finding that regular garlic intake was associated with modest but meaningful reductions in blood pressure over several weeks. A finding significant because blood pressure control is directly tied to protecting kidney blood vessels from long-term damage. Separately, a government-affiliated nutrition database highlighted garlic specifically as one of the safest flavor-boosting foods for people following a reduced potassium eating pattern, noting that the small serving sizes typically used in cooking make meaningful potassium accumulation nearly impossible. A reasonable intake is 2 to 3 cloves daily, minced into meals, roasted whole alongside vegetables, or infused into olive oil for dressings, ideally added during cooking to mellow its intensity while preserving much of its beneficial compound activity. The best time to use garlic is during meal preparation itself, added toward the end of cooking to protect heat-sensitive compounds. The 3 best kidney-friendly uses are roasted garlic cloves, 6 cloves roasted at 400 degrees for 30 minutes, mashed into a spread for bread as an afternoon snack, minced raw garlic stirred into olive oil and lemon as a 2-tablespoon dressing for dinner salads, and sautéed garlic with cabbage or green beans using 2 cloves per serving as a flavorful dinner side. One surprising fact almost nobody knows is that garlic has been studied for its potential role in supporting healthy glutathione levels, the body's primary internal antioxidant, meaning this humble kitchen staple may quietly support the same cellular defense systems that protect kidney tissue from oxidative wear. As always, individuals on blood-thinning medication should speak with their doctor before significantly increasing garlic intake, since it may have mild effects on blood clotting, and anyone with diagnosed kidney disease should confirm portion guidance with a renal dietitian. It is also worth noting that garlic supplements, particularly concentrated capsules or extracts, can behave very differently in the body than fresh garlic used in cooking. So anyone considering a supplement form specifically for kidney or cardiovascular support should discuss it with their doctor first, since dosing and purity vary widely between brands and are not always well regulated. Number 3 takes us to cabbage, a vegetable long recognized by renal dietitians as one of the most reliable low-potassium staples available. A full cup of cooked cabbage contains only about 150 milligrams of potassium, dramatically lower than comparable servings of spinach or Swiss chard, which can carry 3 to 4 times that amount. This mineral profile alone makes cabbage a smart substitute for higher potassium leafy greens in salads, stir-fries, and side dishes. Beyond its low mineral density, cabbage delivers a meaningful dose of vitamin C, vitamin K, and insoluble fiber, supporting healthy digestion and helping the body eliminate metabolic waste more efficiently, which indirectly reduces the overall burden placed on the kidneys and liver. Cabbage also contains sulforaphane, a sulfur-based compound studied for its ability to activate the body's own antioxidant defense systems, essentially helping cells better neutralize the free radicals connected to chronic inflammation, a known contributor to gradually declining kidney filtration. One overlooked risk factor for rising creatinine levels is chronic dehydration, combined with high-protein, high-sodium eating patterns, and cabbage's high water content, alongside its low sodium profile, can help offset both issues when incorporated regularly into meals. Cabbage may benefit most those managing early-stage hypertension, adults replacing higher potassium leafy greens in their diet, and anyone looking for a filling, low-calorie vegetable that supports steady digestion and healthy electrolyte balance. A study conducted through a major American medical center examined cruciferous vegetable intake and inflammatory blood markers in adults over 50, finding that consistent consumption was linked to measurably lower inflammation levels. A meaningful finding, since inflammation is closely tied to the gradual decline of kidney filtration capacity over time. In a separate nutritional analysis connected to a respected kidney foundation, cabbage was specifically listed among the most kidney-friendly vegetables available, praised for combining low potassium and phosphorus content with genuinely high nutritional value, a rare and valuable pairing. A reasonable serving is 1 cup cooked or 1.5 cups raw, roughly 4 times per week, prepared by light steaming or sautéing rather than boiling, since boiling causes water-soluble nutrients and some potassium to leach into cooking water, which can actually be beneficial for those specifically limiting potassium intake. The best time to eat cabbage is with lunch or dinner alongside lean protein for balanced digestion. The 3 best kidney-friendly uses are a light sauté with garlic and olive oil using 1 cup as a dinner side, a simple raw slaw with vinegar and olive oil using 1.5 cups for lunch, and cabbage soup simmered with low-sodium broth for 45 minutes, using 1.5 cups as a warming, hydrating dinner option. Here is a hidden benefit worth knowing. Because boiling leaches potassium into water, discarding that cooking water rather than using it in soups or sauces can further lower the final potassium content of the dish. A simple trick many renal dietitians recommend, but few home cooks ever hear about. Individuals with diagnosed kidney disease should always confirm appropriate portion sizes with their healthcare provider, since fluid and vegetable recommendations vary by treatment stage. Sliding into number 2 is a food that might genuinely surprise you: blueberries. Most fruits get a bad reputation among people managing potassium intake, largely because of high potassium options like bananas and cantaloupe. But blueberries break that pattern entirely. A full cup of fresh blueberries contains only about 114 milligrams of potassium, remarkably low for a fruit, while still delivering an impressive nutritional punch. Blueberries are famous for their anthocyanins, the deep blue-purple pigments responsible for their color, which function as powerful antioxidants shown in research to help reduce oxidative stress throughout the body, including in delicate kidney tissue that is particularly vulnerable to cellular damage over time. They also provide vitamin C, vitamin K, and dietary fiber, supporting healthy digestion, steady blood sugar responses, and reduced inflammation, 3 factors that indirectly support long-term kidney and metabolic health. A common mistake among adults trying to eat healthier is reaching for large fruit smoothies packed with bananas, spinach, and orange juice, unknowingly stacking potassium far higher than they realize. When a simple swap to a blueberry-based smoothie with lower potassium ingredients can dramatically reduce that mineral load while still feeling indulgent and satisfying. Blueberries may benefit most those craving something sweet without the potassium spike of tropical fruit, adults managing blood sugar alongside kidney concerns, and anyone looking to boost antioxidant intake through a naturally low-mineral food. Researchers at a major American university studied anthocyanin-rich fruit consumption in adults with mild metabolic concerns, finding that regular intake was associated with improved markers of vascular function, an important connection since healthy blood vessel function directly supports efficient kidney filtration. In a separate government-backed nutrition analysis, blueberries were highlighted among fruits with the most favorable potassium-to-nutrient ratio, meaning they deliver substantial antioxidant and vitamin content without the mineral burden associated with many other fruit choices. A reasonable serving is 3/4 of a cup daily, fresh or frozen, ideally eaten in the morning or as an afternoon snack when blood sugar responses tend to be most stable. The 3 best kidney-friendly uses are fresh blueberries, stirred into plain yogurt, using 3/4 of a cup as a breakfast option. A simple blueberry and rice cake topping, using 1/2 cup as a light snack. And frozen blueberries, blended into a smoothie with unsweetened almond milk and ice, using 3/4 of a cup for a refreshing afternoon treat. The surprising fact here is that blueberries actually rank among the highest antioxidant density fruits tested by USDA researchers, meaning gram for gram, they outperform many fruits with double or triple their potassium content, making them one of the smartest fruit choices available for anyone monitoring mineral intake. As always, individuals on certain blood thinning or blood sugar medications should discuss fruit intake patterns with their healthcare provider, since consistent fiber and antioxidant intake can sometimes influence medication timing and effectiveness. And now, the moment you have been waiting for. Number 1. The food that surprises almost everyone who hears it for the first time. Egg whites. When people think about kidney-friendly eating, protein sources rarely come to mind first. Yet egg whites stand out as one of the most valuable low-potassium, low-phosphorus protein options available in any American grocery store. A single large egg white contains only about 54 milligrams of potassium and just 4 milligrams of phosphorus, both dramatically lower than the whole egg, red meat, or dairy-based protein sources many people rely on daily. This matters enormously because protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, supporting immune function, and preventing the frailty that can accompany aging. Yet many high-protein foods also carry heavy mineral loads that can be problematic for people managing kidney concerns. Egg whites solve this dilemma by delivering high-quality, complete protein, meaning they contain all 9 essential amino acids, without the potassium and phosphorus burden of many other protein-rich foods. They are also naturally low in fat and calories, making them a practical option for adults managing weight alongside kidney health. A common dietary mistake among adults trying to eat healthy is assuming all protein sources are interchangeable, when in reality, swapping whole eggs, processed deli meats, or dairy-heavy protein shakes for egg whites can meaningfully reduce daily mineral intake without sacrificing muscle-supporting nutrition. Egg whites may benefit most those managing elevated phosphorus or potassium levels, older adults working to preserve muscle mass through adequate protein intake, and anyone looking for a versatile, affordable protein source that fits easily into a kidney-conscious eating pattern. A nephrology-focused study conducted at a major American medical center examined protein source selection in adults managing chronic kidney concerns, finding that choosing lower phosphorus protein options like egg whites was associated with better long-term mineral balance compared to relying primarily on higher phosphorus animal proteins. In a separate analysis published through a respected kidney research foundation, egg whites were specifically recommended as a preferred protein source for individuals following reduced potassium and reduced phosphorus eating patterns, precisely because they deliver protein quality without the mineral density typically associated with animal-based proteins. A reasonable intake is 2 to 4 egg whites daily, prepared scrambled, boiled, or blended into recipes, ideally consumed earlier in the day to support steady energy and muscle maintenance throughout waking hours. The 3 best kidney-friendly uses are a simple scrambled egg white breakfast using 3 egg whites cooked with olive oil and herbs, a boiled egg white snack using 2 whites paired with cucumber slices for an afternoon protein boost, and egg whites folded into a vegetable stir-fry using 2 whites as a light, protein-rich dinner addition alongside cabbage or bell peppers. The most surprising fact of this entire countdown is that egg whites contain virtually no dietary phosphorus binders, meaning the phosphorus they do contain is highly bioavailable. But because the total amount is so low to begin with, they remain one of the safest protein choices for anyone actively managing phosphorus and potassium levels under medical guidance. It is essential to understand that no single food directly lowers creatinine or reverses kidney disease, since creatinine levels depend on multiple interacting factors, including muscle mass, hydration, medication use, and overall kidney function. And anyone managing diagnosed kidney disease, taking potassium-sparing diuretics, or following a medically prescribed renal diet should always consult their nephrologist or registered dietitian before making significant dietary changes. So there you have it. 4 genuinely surprising, low-potassium foods: garlic, cabbage, blueberries, and egg whites, each offering a practical, evidence-based way to support a kidney-friendly eating pattern without sacrificing flavor, satisfaction, or nutrition. None of these foods are magic, and none of them replace medical care, regular blood work, or guidance from your healthcare team. But together, they represent the kind of smart, sustainable choices that genuinely add up over months and years of consistent eating. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 4 foods surprised you the most? Was it garlic quietly replacing your salty seasoning habits, cabbage proving itself as a truly worthy leafy green alternative, blueberries breaking every assumption about fruit and potassium, or egg whites taking the #1 spot as the ultimate low-mineral protein source? Drop a comment below and tell us honestly, because your feedback genuinely shapes what we cover in future videos. If this information opened your eyes to something genuinely new and useful, please share this video with a parent, spouse, or friend who is navigating kidney health concerns, because knowledge like this deserves to be passed along rather than kept to yourself. And if you want more evidence-based, myth-free health content just like this one, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you truly never miss a single upload. We also have a follow-up video waiting for you right now that reveals the hidden potassium traps lurking in everyday healthy foods, the ones nutrition labels rarely make obvious. Click it, keep learning, and keep protecting the incredible organs working quietly for you every single day. Because small, informed choices, repeated consistently, are often what make the biggest difference over the years ahead, far more than any single dramatic change ever could. And your kidneys will genuinely thank you for the small, thoughtful effort you choose to put in starting today.